RS. This hour is presented by Collier & Thompson Kitchen and Bath. Visit them today at collierandthompson.com.
Smurf the whole day long. Smurf along with me. Simple as can be. Next time, revealing blue, just let the smile begin.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Smurf 2 in theaters this week. To discuss it, David Blaustein, ABC News entertainment correspondent. Good morning, David Blaustein.
Good morning, McGraw. And Frank, your producer, informs me that this has been getting very bad reviews.
What? It's outrageous. Well, wait a minute. You're the theater critic. You should
I know, but I don't sit there and read other people's reviews, so I have no idea at this point what people are saying about it, other than what Frank tells me, because he's the only person I listen to.
Well, what in the Smurf is he talking about? See, that was
I don't know, but
that
it's
was
Smurfed up.
Smurf 2, the sequel. The first Smurf movie was called the Blue Man Group, wasn't it?
Something like that. Or,
all right.
Well, look, the first movie I thought was awful. I did not like the first Smurfs movie. And I think for me, my chief complaint is that there was nothing in that movie for adults. And, I grew up loving the Smurfs, and I think a lot of my friends liked the Smurfs. And I was expecting there to be at least some humor that would cater to that audience or cater to parents who were forced to take their kids to it. And I didn't see any of that. The saving grace of that movie was probably really Hank Azaria as Gargamel. I mean, even Neil Patrick Harris, who's great, was underutilized in that movie. So here we have Smurfs 2, and, the plot is a stretch, and it doesn't seem like they put a lot of effort into it, except the one thing that I did like is that Gargamel is world famous, and the reason why he's world famous now is because somebody caught him on their smartphone from the first movie in the middle of the street lifting cars, with his hands and electric bolts coming out of his fingers, and then he eventually dropped a car on his head, and what that led to was a deal as a magician, and now he's doing a famous act at a big theater in Paris. And he has all the money in the world, and he's incredibly famous, but he still has to harness the power of the Smurfs, which is how Hank Azaria says Smurfs, which I rather enjoy. And the other thing I like about this movie is John Oliver as the voice of Vanity Smurf. John Oliver, who is the fill-in host of The Daily Show now. I think that I thought that almost everything that came out of his mouth was funny, and there were a couple of references that were definitely aimed at adults that they could appreciate. So, am I sitting here telling you that it's a good movie? I'm not saying that it's a particularly good movie, but nor am I going to trash it. I think it's solid family entertainment, and it's something that if you have to take your kids to, I think there's something in it for you to enjoy. Sure, you're going to sit there and say that's ridiculous, but at the same time, there will be a few moments where I believe you will laugh out loud. So I'm giving it 3 out of 5 stars.
Interesting. I thought you were going to say Gargamel took a picture of his genitals and then tweeted them out, and then was running for mayor of New York City.
And then Smurfette went on a tirade where she cursed at his former Smurf assistant.
Yeah, this is good. Man, New York City's got it going on this week, doesn't it? All right, so
yeah, we really do. We have it going on, and I can't even tell you. And I think we've discussed Anthony Weiner in the past. That I have essentially known Anthony Weiner since I was a little kid. I'm not saying that I was friends with him, but he was my assemblyman, and I remember him before he was an assemblyman when he just worked for Chuck Schumer, who was my assemblyman, and then eventually went on to be a congressman and then went on to be a senator. Like, right. I remember these people. Like, they all spoke at my various graduations, at my Little League openings. And Anthony Weiner was somebody, I rooted for. He's from the neighborhood. Oh, and the other thing, he sat in front of my parents at synagogue as well. So, this has been profoundly disappointing. I was really, on a personal level, hoping that after the original scandal, he would just go away. I would be fine if he came back to politics maybe in 10 years. I did not expect him to come back this soon. And he comes back this soon, and it's a disappointment. I think anybody who was an Anthony Weiner supporter at any point, and I have a friend that I grew up with who actually worked for Anthony Weiner for a long time, and he won't even talk about Anthony Weiner at this point.
All right, who knew? Not only do you get a movie review, but you also get a political commentary from David Blaustein.
Thank you very much.
All right, the other movie,
it's not political, it's personal.
It's personal. Personal about a political figure. This new movie, this other one, this actually looks pretty good. The Spectacular Now. What's this one about?
You know, McGraw, I think The Spectacular Now is a movie, based on what I know about you, I think that this is a movie you will really like. This is a teen romance, unlike really any teen romance that you've seen before, in the sense that it's extremely realistic. Well, you're laughing because I think you'll like a teen romance.
Yes.
Because I think you're sappy.
Yes, that is.
Well, you are sappy.
That
but
is exactly why I'm laughing.
I do think, look, how many sisters do you have? 6?
5 sisters.
5 sisters? Of course you're going to be sappy.
Exactly. I can't help myself.
I understand. I had 2 sisters. I'm a little sappy.
There you go. Good.
But you're just 3 times as sappy as I am because you had 3 more sisters than I did.
I just think that this Spectacular Now is a teen romance movie with a new twist. I think it's something original and something.
It is very original. And, you know, part of what makes the magic of this movie, and it is magical, is Miles Teller and Shailene Woodley. I think, we sort of know a lot about Shailene Woodley. You know, her big coming out party was The Descendants, playing George Clooney's daughter. There was a lot of awards buzz surrounding that particular performance, and rightfully so. She's a very natural actress. You know, I actually think she's the best young actress out there. Jennifer Lawrence is a very, very, very close second. These two are now going to be compared a lot because Shailene Woodley is going to be the face of a movie franchise that is similar to The Hunger Games called Divergent. And her co-star in that movie, and maybe that entire franchise, happens to be Miles Teller, the star of this movie. This is the first time we're seeing Miles Teller carry a movie. He is the main character. His character, Sutter, is a high school senior who was just dumped by his very hot girlfriend. He's popular, but it's not what we've seen in the past. It's not the type of popularity we've seen in the past from Hollywood, nor is Miles Teller the type of young teen star, that leading man that we've got. You know, he's not Zac Efron. He's not like that type of good looking. Like, he's conventionally good looking. He's not Hollywood good looking. And you could say the same thing for Shailene Woodley. Shailene Woodley's character, Amy, will be sort of his rebound. But the glitch here is that he's an alcoholic, and he has a daddy issue. His father is played by Kyle Chandler, who's only in the movie briefly, but makes a major impact in a surprising way. This is a surprising role for Kyle Chandler because he's not playing that affable, good-looking guy he normally plays.
Right.
He is playing a ugly person, not physically ugly. I'm talking about ugly, heinous on the inside. And like I said, he's not in the movie very long, and you walk out of the theater thinking about him. And there's a lot you think about when you walk out of the theater. This movie stays with you. It is just really well done. It's probably going to be one of my favorite movies of the year, 4.5 out of 5 stars.
The Spectacular Now, David Blaustein, is it better? Which is better, The Spectacular Now or Say Anything?
I would say, they're two. What's interesting is that Miles Teller is like a young John Cusack. He even looks like him. He could play his little brother.
Right.
If you put the two of them in a movie together.
Right.
That's a tough one. Really tough one. I mean,
But you're saying it's as good as Say Anything, if not better.
Well, I'm saying it's different because this one isn't really so much a comedy, where Say Anything was more of a romantic comedy.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Lloyd, all null and void. I love that movie, Say Anything, by the way. The Spectacular Now, 4.5 out of 5 stars. That's that's up there for you. So that's good. All right, that and Smurfs 2, the sequel, plus a little Anthony Weiner talk. We got it all in. David Blaustein, have yourself a good week. Be safe, and we'll talk to you next Friday.
Take care, sir.
All right, 8:30, Big 550, KTRS.